The Zone Coverage Podcast Network.
The Andy Lucanary Football Machine.
Autobots, transform! I like this kind of party!
Straight cash, homie.
Starts now.
Welcome back to Thunderdome for another Zone Coverage Football Machine, Zone Coverage Podcast Network. I'm your not so humble host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. And I have equity, more equity than Jimmy Butler trying to go from a dysfunctional franchise to the Knicks.
Or the Nets.
Or the Nets.
Or the Clippers.
I don't know what is happening.
We will have writing about it. Obviously, Dane wrote about it when Shams first reported it. He will do more. He's probably writing it as we speak here. It's not a good sign for the Wolves. Beyond the Timber Bulls, the Tibbs madness, this looks like something that's at the root. The funny thing is, media day is Monday. Mr. Karl-Anthony Towns, the most important player here, has not signed his extension, which is almost a no-brainer given that it's life-changing money. And a guy of that caliber could always force a trade, so usually those guys just sign it.
Why do you... I mean, that's the second really big contract. Wiggins was the same issue last season where he waited on signing.
I think it's similar. I think these guys don't have a lot of say because they're young and because it is ridiculous to pass that up. I mean, that
guaranteed, fully guaranteed.
Because you know what? Here's the thing: if Wiggins doesn't sign that contract, or better yet, maybe the Wolves wait a year, it maybe becomes a 4-year, $100 million. Now, again, seems like picking nits, but that's a big difference. And I think Towns is trying to say, "Hey, let's get it together." And I think the Wolves have to go show him we can get it. And that may mean, overhaul. I'm talking like flushing the system, and that's a scary proposition going into the season, given that Tibbs is really the only guy that can get anything out of Luol Deng, Taj Gibson, Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys.
That's a really good point. Well, and last year it really seemed like the team was more hesitant to extend Andrew Wiggins than Andrew Wiggins was to sign that contract.
And which is a bad sign.
Right.
Yeah. I think best case scenario here, this year just can't be a total bust, and that's really teetering on the edge. But the positive is that Wiggins may take a step forward without Butler. I think we figured out that they're a little too similar. At least Butler's kind of crowding what Wiggins wants to do. I also think, again, it comes down to Towns. You got to tell this guy who could improve defensively, who still has a few spots he can improve, but generally speaking is their best player, possibly generation talent. Look, it's going to work out with you and Wiggins. We'll figure out what to do with the rest of the cap space and potentially an empty slate, assuming if Butler's out the door, it probably means Tibbs is at the end of the year as well.
Good. Screw him. Listen to hour one. We talked some Vikings and did a little Bills preview and whatnot. I'm going to open up the phone lines here in a smidge. Let's warm up with a couple of Twitter questions. So first one is from the Big Herman. Over under, how many targets does Treadwell get this week?
4.
Yeah. 3.5.
Would you take the over or the under?
If at 3.5?
Yeah.
I would take the over.
Over.
Right at 4.
I think it might be something stupid where, like, Cousins just like, you know what, I'm just going to force feed my guy. And he ends up like 9. I'm like, oh, whatever. Yeah, something like that. At Kyle Wilkin TUDB, I don't understand the DB strategy of being 7 yards off at the line of scrimmage. Gave Adams a touchdown and 5 extra yards on a field goal attempt, time almost out. Yeah, we talked about that in hour one too. It's like, is it too much respect for Aaron Rodgers? I don't get it.
That didn't seem like a thing against Aaron Rodgers. I just think that was their way of playing man coverage, or zone coverage, maybe even the red zone. But yeah, it definitely didn't work. It allowed a lot of room for those guys to catch those underneath passes, which was what Aaron Rodgers wanted to do in the first place because he couldn't move around the way he needed to. So
what kind of coverage was that? What kind of coverage is that?
The zone coverage?
Brand.
Dang.
Yeah, go to our website, subscribe, become a member, read everything twice.
Yeah, do that up. And then, actually, no. What do you guys think about the Captain Marvel trailer?
I thought it was good. I've always been a fan of Captain Marvel. I think she's going to add so much to dimensionally, and there's also there's a lot of things that she's adding to fact that it's from space, and it has obviously an Earth aspect to it. Her being arguably one of the strongest people within the Marvel universe, and I'm a nerd, so I know this stuff. And I don't know. I just think it's going to be an exciting addition to everything.
People need to hear the conversations that you and Reef have at the bar.
They don't.
Because it is phenomenal.
It is
so it is like the level we go into with football here.
Yes.
Except with like cartoons I've never heard of.
Well, I mean, people knock anime because they think it's, again, they look at it as cartoons, but it's like artistry to a whole new level. I mean, there's a lot of social context that's in there. There's a lot of like political messages. There is.
I mean, certainly there's popularity because everyone watches the movies when they come out and stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I think the movies are kind of the blow up portion of more of the artistry that is anime, but the series allows you to just like really go into depth in the psyche of a character, watch them grow, watch them go through struggles, and there's a lot of complexity to some of these shows. That
is there nudity in Deadpool?
Yes.
All right.
Brief though.
Yeah,
it's been a while. I kind of forgot. We should go more R-rated on these superhero movies.
Andy, there you can find what you're trying to find on the internet.
No. You Googled Lois does Brian, and Brian's the dog, man. Yeah, good stuff. So we're waiting for Steve to call in because he's my odds-on favorite to be the first one. Yeah.
We're a little early, so anytime we're early, there's always a little pause.
At Anton Koshkarev, is the Carlson meltdown a blessing in disguise that will give Vikings fans the most peace of mind at kicker since Longwell?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's definitely a blessing.
Over under 2.5 misses for Bailey the rest of the way. Extra points and field goals.
Over.
He'll miss one extra point and 2 field goals, but the field goals will be like really, really long.
Yeah.
He's never missed an extra point in his career.
I know.
No, he missed 2 last year. Yeah, with the injury.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why
the first 2 misses of his career.
That's why he'll have a bounce back.
Yeah, he'll be ready to rock. All right, so 1920. Is Dan Bailey the Vikings kicker in 2020?
Yes.
In 2020?
Yeah.
No.
Really? You don't think so?
Why do I have to go with the group? Let me go my way.
I'm fine with it. I'm just curious.
Dan Bailey.
I'm just curious.
I hate him. I can't stand his face.
Yeah, I'm just curious of your logic behind it.
No, I have no reason to think he's going to be here next year, so I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, Dan Bailey's face is like the stock insurance broker face. Like, that's definitely the guy who sold me homeowners insurance. Yeah. Oh, well, bug me too. All right, so I just like paying my insurance premiums and never talking to my agent because I don't really care. But the one of the assistants called me up. Is the guy who would do car and home bundled together, and then she was like, "Well, Todd, call him Todd. Todd just wants to meet and just catch up on things, and check over your policy. Does this mean you're going to sell me less insurance?" Oh, okay. Have a nice day. Because that's how they try and get you. It's like we have to review your policy. Oh, magically, I need more insurance. How crazy is that? Odd, but that's stupid. Grown up. Well, I guess only Miles and I are grown up, but.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm good. Fair.
You can risk it.
Yeah.
At the Big Herman again. If you had to pick one TV show to represent the 2017 Viking story arc, what would it be?
One TV show?
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh?
The show was really good. I really liked almost every season of the show. The ending was terrible.
That's a great... Yeah, that's a good analogy.
I hated the ending of that show. I can't even watch the ending of that show anymore.
Yep. Caller, who we got?
Hoodie, what's up, guys?
Hoodie, what's going on?
What ending of what show?
What TV show would you compare to the 2017 Viking season?
2017?
Yeah.
We live in the past.
Oh, my gosh. The Walking Dead.
Whereas really
Miles,
good,
Miles, drop yours.
I had a feeling. Hoodie was gonna go
I've
there.
never seen it, but
whereas really, really good until they killed off the Asian dude.
yes, no, mine was How I Met Your Mother because I think the entire show was really good, and then the very end was just terrible.
I never saw an episode of it.
I know you haven't.
Hoodie, are you kind of a TV snob? Feels like it.
Hoodies.
Well,
is a
snob
all
of
I
media
used,
snob.
I used to be. I didn't really watch TV as much anymore.
Oh, because you're busy living your life, having great times. We follow you on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
he's too
that's
busy
It. That's
to
exactly
be
it.
watching TV, Andy.
I mean, that's kind of fair. I haven't really watched TV.
By the way, can we say what an upgrade this show is? Not having that crybaby, Twitter twat, a reef not on the show tonight.
Oh, I thought he was talking about me for a second. So
It's like, yeah, Yankees here.
No. After his little couldn't take back the whole cousin. And Andy, how does he blame you? Like that's what I don't get.
Yeah.
Like, what did you say?
Well, for the whole thing, is like I just kind of like, yeah, I probably did something, which is fair. Actually, as a bit, I want to come out with like those contrite like PR'd like apology statements for like I'm deeply sorry for those I offended. It was never my intention. Blah blah blah. For doing nothing, just put it out there just to see how people react.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
But we all know you're just going to beat the crap out of him when you see him, so that's okay. That works out. So.
I'm a lover, not a writer.
You'll still beat the crap out of him. It's okay. I'll pay you off for it. I'd rather send my Patron money to you instead of them now, so
Well,
that's okay.
Here's the thing, though. Arif is actually taller than me.
So what? You're like twice his size. You actually work out. What does he do?
Actually,
The only exercise he has is his fingers typing. That's it. Right?
That's incorrect. I'm like 5 inches taller than Arif. No big deal.
Reef also dictates his columns to John Krasinski. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like a Sid Hartman / Sid's ghostwriter situation.
Can you imagine Arif at 30 becomes Sid?
Well, they have a similar temperament.
Wow. That's so true.
Now, Udi,
so true.
we're trying to figure this out. Hour one. Give us a scenario where the Bills give the Vikings the game on Sunday.
They don't.
Just none. Out of 1,000 simulations.
Turnovers. Let's see. Bills score on special teams. Turnovers by Vikings, fumbles, interceptions.
Prefer's getting fired at halftime. I'm calling it.
Who? What?
Prefer gets fired at halftime. Somebody needs to retire at halftime of every Bills game.
Or be fired.
Or be fired. Yeah.
It would not shock me if he's gone before the end of the year.
Who?
It wouldn't shock me. I could see him pulling a Norm. I honestly do.
He didn't want Dan Bailey. He wanted Daniel Carlson, and this is the last straw.
But there's But like the issue with Norv is like he was already on notice. The minute that you brought in Pat Shurmur, it was like you already had a guy that was kind of pushing the guy there. Prefer doesn't have.
Prefer's not, but yeah, right.
Got Ryan Ficken.
Prefer's not.
Ryan
you
Ficken,
can't
son.
tell me you can't fund somebody who could replace Prefer.
No, yeah, I know that you can replace him, but you didn't bring in a guy specifically to.
They bring in Chris
Wait,
Kluwe.
do you remember when he Prefer was suspended for
the 3 games or
Yeah.
whatever?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, that's the whole point. He's still probably on. I'm sorry, but he's still on thin ice. I'd still like.
Damn it. I wish I hadn't deleted a lot of my old tweets because I could have looked up. I dressed up a scarecrow to be the replacement for Prefer. I wish I could find it. It was applicable.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, real quick. Hey, yes or no to corn mazes?
Yes.
No.
Yes, because I have
That's
a kid.
scary.
Yes, because I have a kid
Hard.
now.
Hard pass.
I'm all good, man.
Dude, I have to go to
But-
Seaver's corn maze and their stupid corn pit where, you know what they do? They just stack up hay bales and dump corn in it. Kids climb in it. That's it. That's all they do.
So why are you for them?
Well, because I have a kid and it's an afternoon.
There are
of
other
entertainment.
there's other activities for children.
I have no vote in them. Said activities.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes or no on haunted houses?
No.
No. Ugh.
Yes.
No, now they like touch
Yes,
you and stuff.
absolutely.
Who are you guys having fun at all? Like, no. Like,
I'm not fun.
I said yes.
No.
I'm all for him. I go to him.
Wait, who said yes?
Yinka
Yinka.
did.
The fun one of the
Good
group.
man. Wait, Miles said no?
Yeah,
I'm
why do
shocked.
I wanna go?
I am utterly shocked.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or not. So
From Don, who knows?
It is sarcasm.
Hey, we appreciate you calling in tonight, man.
Yep. By the way, I don't expect 3 or 4 stars to play this Sunday. I don't expect Cook, Griffin, a couple other guys. I expect they'll hold out. And I think Elfline will start. This gives a good chance to go against the Rams then.
Hey, we'll take it.
Peace.
See you, bud. Got another call?
We did, but they hung up.
Yeah, they'll work on it. All right, so 2017 TV show. Yeah, How I Met Your Mother is a good one. Maybe Lost.
There's got to be a lot of TV shows that end kind of.
Dexter.
It's more about the journey than the. How did The
Seinfeld.
Office end?
this is us. It actually had a pretty sweet
Yeah, Office
ending.
is good. Dwight got married. Michael came back.
It
That's what she
ended.
said.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Dwight. And,
The ending,
Angela got married.
the ending episode was probably better than like the last 3 seasons.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah.
But the ending episode really felt like the one with Michael when Michael left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The Office would be like, what was that year that the Vikings started like 6-2 and missed the playoffs? Wasn't that? Maybe I'm.
Besides 2016,
Was that 20?
Maybe it was 2016.
I think it was.
they did 2016, and I think they did it in like 2000.
So that's The Office.
yeah, 4. I can't remember the year,
Yep.
but
At Joe Schmo 84, will the team still receive a compensatory pick for Tom Johnson even though he's back with the team?
from my understanding, it's 10 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So no.
It'd be really funny though. Triple dip in the chip on TJ. What is up, baby? At Steve PA 27. Thoughts on Hill as a kick return? Not sure he had a bad return in preseason or regular season.
Sounds good.
Maybe. Although I know that once he begins starting and playing more, like Mike Hughes, like you don't want him on returns as much, but Mike Hughes is so freaking good as a kick and punt returner.
Good.
Come on. Also, did you see him almost block that extra point?
Yeah. Just get the ball in his hands.
Yeah. Caller, who we got?
Oh, this is Fred.
Hey, Fred. What's going on,
yeah,
man?
this dude. Yeah.
How are you doing?
We are phenomenal. Say hello to Miles.
Hey, what's up, Miles?
What's going on, Fred?
Man, just kicking it here at the house, watching some TV and having a beer.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good Wednesday night.
What kind of beer?
Oh, Grain Belt Premium. That's all I drink.
That is that's on brand. That's supporting the great state of Minnesota, son.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. What are you guys chatting about tonight?
Well, we were talking about what TV show represents the 2017 Viking season.
What? 2017?
Yeah, last year.
What? Man, that's hard. Let me think about it.
We say like Deadliest Catch.
Deadliest Catch?
Yeah. Or like CNN
shit.
Crossfire back in the day.
I don't know. I don't even watch much TV.
I would say The
Yeah, I don't
Apprentice.
even know.
But
Fred, what's your
Hey,
favorite? Fred, what's your favorite movie?
Say what? There Will Be Blood.
Hey, drinking your milkshake. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My silent partner. Yeah, that's mine. Man, I gotta tell you though, I had a scary incident on Sunday.
What'd you do?
I had to go to the emergency room.
For what?
Because of the Vikings?
Well, basically, after watching Cousins in the fourth quarter in OT, I got an erection that lasted for over 4 hours. Oh my God,
you and Andy
dude.
both.
It was so good. Holy shit. I mean, at the end, like he held on the ball too long. I get it. Missed some throws, all that. But, I mean, oh my, like, I was doing a lot of research after the game, trying to figure out the last time a Vikings quarterback outperformed the Packers quarterback at Lambeau.
Yep.
And, like, you could say
well,
09,
last
but,
year.
I mean, Favre is a Packers quarterback, you know?
Yep.
I think you got to go back to the playoff game in 05 with, the Afros are out. And
yeah.
Randy was mooning people. And
that was a fun
Favre threw
time.
like 4 picks.
Yeah. That was a fun era.
Those were the days, man. Randy was on the sideline, like, throw it up in the air, boss. You can't jump with me. Come on, Dante.
I will say that Randy's accent is one of the most endearing accents out there. It's just so fitting, so calming. I just love hearing it. Like, he should do books on tape.
I think so,
War
too.
Piece with Randy Moss.
Yeah. This is Moby Dick, read by Randy Moss. Call me Ishmael. Best of times, worst of times, friend. Okay, so I was looking back, though, at 2005. Think about this. This is what I did my research. In 2005, Destiny's Child broke up. Russell Crowe pleaded guilty to assault. Remember, he threw that, he was at a hotel and beat someone with a telephone? That's crazy.
Sure.
Kanye said George W. Bush doesn't care about black people.
And throw
Tom
it back
Cruise
to
jumped on Oprah's
Mike Myers.
couch.
Oh, man.
And Michael Jackson was found not guilty of child molestation. Right. Oh, my God. Man, I was like a kid. I thought, well, I mean, it was like, come on, man. Some of those throws, I just went crazy, you know? It was exciting.
Yeah, you look like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Fingers crossed. Anyways, I'm Jab.
Hey.
I just wanted to say he had a good time, he had a good game, and I'm pretty excited about it. Even though we just, tied because our kicker sucks, but
Yeah,
whatever.
damn straight. Better days ahead. Appreciate you calling in, Fred.
All right. Peace, guys.
What do we think of the sequel or Space Jam 2 being back on?
I loved Space Jam. Probably my favorite movie. When I was
I'm worried they're going to ruin it.
LeBron's actually a pretty decent actor, though.
Yeah.
Well, we've only seen him in a few things, though. So
Trainwreck.
You think Amy
that State
Schumer-
Farm commercial?
Amy Schumer's in Space Jam.
Oh, God. She is. I'm boycotting.
like LeBron was probably like the best part of Trainwreck, right?
Yeah.
And it's because of how they used him. So are they going to use him in Space Jam in a very similar way? Because
Well, it's a kids movie, right? So,
because Michael Jordan wasn't the reason why you love Space Jam. It's everything else.
Yeah. Although I guess Jim Rome still collects like a decent chunk of money from royalties from that.
Oh yeah,
because he's ripping him. If you remember that scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, they used Michael Jordan well though.
They
I don't
do,
think he has to do much more.
He doesn't.
Is Bill Murray in Space Jam too?
I would hope
He's got to be.
Yeah.
LeBron
He's
Jr.
still
has to
around.
be in it too, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and he has to wear a St. Paul Saints hat.
Yeah.
as well.
When does that come out next year?
Is that right? I don't know.
Maybe they start filming over the summer. What? No.
No,
well, this offseason's over.
It'll be during the playoffs when the Lakers don't make it.
Oh, I love that.
But,
Does Lonzo
plenty of time.
and LeVar? Do they make a little celeb?
God, no.
LeVar's the coach
I like that LeVar.
of the enemy team, the Monstars.
That'd be
He
great.
doesn't even have to be cartooned. He just shows up as himself.
Be like the Monstars are in Lithuania, guys.
Because who's the coach of the? Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that sounds
sure.
about right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Jordan Loki was very charismatic for being a stone cold killer on the court. Like, he was good. Do you remember him in Hanes commercials and like Oscar Mayer commercials and whatnot? Yeah.
Shaq and Shazam.
I miss that.
Shaq should be in Space Jam too.
Shaq and Shazam. He was entertaining in Shazam. He was in another movie, correct?
No, Shaq and Charles. Like they need to get the TNT crowd in that.
Oh, actually,
or was that the Genie movie?
Who are the 4 players that the Monstars steal the powers from, or 4 or 5, whatever?
That's a good question.
Muggsy Bogues. Oh, for the new one.
For the new one, yeah.
Oh,
Not Jimmy Butler.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Steph
Steph Curry's got to be one.
Harden.
Russell,
I bet.
probably Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Westbrook, Harden.
You gotta
Durant.
You gotta
Like,
go,
why
you gotta
not?
go big guys.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Anthony
Kawhi.
Davis.
Anthony Davis is a good one.
Oh, yeah. Have a monster with the unibrow. That'd be great.
Oh, that has to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Johnny Manziel.
I feel like Carl Towns actually would be a.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, it would be a good one. Yeah.
I feel like I'm dangerously intrigued by Josh Allen. Like
intrigued, and
I'm glad that he doesn't play for my team, but I'm glad that he's in the league.
Like play football?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas I wasn't high on him in the draft process. He was the most polarizing draft prospect in NFL history for a reason. But I do want to see him down like 20 points early and just have to sling it and make like 2 throws that blow your mind, but then also make 5 that also blow your mind the other way.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be Josh Allen.
So you think it's better than Jimmy G? Because I thought that throw he had late in that game.
That Pettis touchdown?
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pettis touchdown is like, Harrison Smith can't cover anyone. That's why he's not the best safety in the league, even though he had like the best game of his career.
But he did struggle in coverage a little bit too, though.
Yeah.
Which,
But-
it
happens.
It's always been his
probably his weakness.
Yeah.
Right. Weakness.
Yeah, it's like Superman being allergic to kryptonite or something.
Did we talk about the Tom Brady book? Did you guys know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, it's like, whatever.
I mean, we know that there's some dysfunction there. Is that
Oh.
kind of where everyone's at?
The fact that it sounds like he was ready to leave
Yeah.
and be done in like March.
I wonder if the Patriots are kind of like, I don't know if you guys have tracked with the Spurs, obviously Kawhi Leonard and all that, but how they got there. I wonder if the Patriots are a little like that Belichick tries to outlast him, and then other players are like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
That's why he wanted to keep Jimmy G. Like, he knew
for
Tom
sure,
was on
for
the back
sure.
end. Like,
Well, and Belichick's turned that roster over so many times and also survived all of his coordinators leaving. It's just like he's still there and he's still fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Brady's the only one who hasn't.
True.
Yeah. And what would the trade market be for Tom Brady? Like, say Brady has another great season and Patriots don't win the Super Bowl, but they make a nice little playoff run. Like, what would... Think of a team.
if you're Jacksonville, you have to, right? Like
What a weird. So that's weirder than Montana finishing a Chief, right?
Yeah,
Or, like,
right.
I'm trying to think of some of those obscure ones, but I mean, Favre as a Jet before coming here.
You know, Peyton has a Bronco.
Yeah,
Who was actually, like, really good for
that
2
that
years.
worked though. I grew on me because it was enough time.
Well, hell, Montana worked. That was the last time the Chiefs won a playoff game.
that's true.
Which is
Elvis
depressing.
Gerbeck, if you remember him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jacksonville's such a funny way for Tom Brady to go out.
Yeah. Who else is a loaded team that needs a quarterback? I mean, the Vikings. No.
Kirk Cousins gets abducted by the cartel.
Yes.
And then, all right, so
Tom Brady.
The Rams.
we'll give that situation.
Tom Brady.
Rams.
Tom Brady throws across his body, and we're like, no.
Yeah, except he would complete it.
Yeah.
All right, so Kirk Cousins just disappears. Face of the earth, abducted by aliens. They're like, you're weird enough. Pick you.
Kirk's like, hey guys.
If you're the Vikings, would you give up 3 1s for Brady?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I would do that in a heartbeat. Also, draft day, you can unlock your draft picks 4 years from now. I would give up 4 1s.
So
for Brady.
Kirk Cousins, just real quick, he gets abducted, and they're like, "We're sick of you," and he's like, "No, you guys are great. I can't go back down." He's like, "This is real Star Trek."
He's a nerd like that, isn't he?
Yeah, isn't he? He's a huge goober.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I also think that's a little bit of a front. I don't know. Like,
You're still on that bandwagon?
I don't. I just think he is who he is.
I think he is who he is, but also I feel like he's hiding something. Like he's got like necklaces full of ears somewhere.
What the hell?
Yeah. Some humans, some not. You know, you change up the pattern on the necklaces. Or actually, no. I feel like Russell Wilson's like that. Where, yeah, every single year, like an article comes out of how the teammates really don't like Russell. Like, what do you think is the truth there?
I could see that.
I think with the issue with Russell is like, I think again like the whole holy water like that kind of
Nanobubbles that are supposed to cure you.
Yeah, it's just like it's that kind of his like personality. They're just like, dude, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody who probably like God, I can't stand that dude. It's more just like this dude's just like really corny, but like he's good at football, so whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you guys read that article, the most recent ESPN one with. So Richard Sherman got married in the Dominican
I missed that.
in the summer, and they talked to it all came like all those wonder years with them. It all came back to how Pete Carroll adjusted everything to make sure that nobody said anything negative to Russell Wilson, like ever.
Huh.
Like they wouldn't even do it in meetings. They wouldn't let. He would make sure that the other veterans on the team were not putting him down, and they were upset that they weren't letting. you'll get after everybody else. Everybody else can get after everybody else, but Russell's the only one that's not allowed to. Even if he has a bad game, it doesn't matter.
That's
you just gotta let it go. It is.
That's
And
so weird too.
So it was a really good article, but it's really surprising. And
I mean, I don't know how much this stuff matters, but you want your quarterback to be kind of like kind of a normal person.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm really curious about some of the truths on that one, like how truthful.
Is that what you said was ESPN, like a Wickersham or something? Yeah. He's usually pretty non.
Caller, who we got?
This is Dane from Minneapolis.
Dane, seems like an odd name.
It's Dane Moore.
Dane Moore.
No.
Dane, we started this podcast with 2 minutes on Jimmy Butler and the dysfunctional Wolves.
Well, that's what I'm calling about. I know that this. I need some hot takes from my football guys. I'm done scrolling through Twitter.
Dane Moore, by the way, big football guy. Are you doing well in our fantasy league?
Yeah, he beat my ass this week.
Brandon put up 150 on me.
Seems like a lot. Even a half-point PPR.
2-0, baby. I got that league wrapped up.
Wow.
Definitely over a reef.
Wow.
Yeah. Dane, you do have one of the best team names in the league, though. I will give you that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So you guys don't want to talk about Jimmy Butler? This is a football podcast?
No, we've talked about it a little bit in hour one.
What about Jimmy, though?
Is the Jimmy situation similar to Le'Veon Bell?
No, because he's not going to just sit out most of the season.
He should.
I think Le'Veon Bell's situation is very much motivated by financial reasons, and while I believe that's part of Jimmy's situation, I think obviously there's a lot more personal going on there. Yeah, it seems like the players in Pittsburgh are upset with Bell, but I don't think that is informing his holdout at all, right?
I don't think so.
No, it's the other way around, yeah. Although we know with the Wolves, players are not thrilled with him,
no,
Jimmy Bell, at least the key ones.
Which is pretty important. There's a lot of wild speculation going on the internet as to what has caused Karl Towns and Jimmy Butler to butt heads, which I'm not going to buy into at all, but it is just so classic Minnesota that this has just turned into the biggest soap opera ever.
Was this, Miles, did you ask if the Vikings are the Browns of...
No, are the Timberwolves the Browns
sorry,
of the NBA?
Yes, sorry, I meant the Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves really feel like the Browns of the NBA.
What do you think on that one?
I mean... The Timberwolves made the playoffs last year. The Browns went 0-16.
Fine.
Are they the Bills?
Buffalo Bills, yes. Yeah, we're the Bills.
Okay, there's a little bit of a better parallel there. Hopefully the Wolves aren't as bad as Buffalo is this year, but
Andrew Wiggins
you gotta look at the Wolves still and say they have Karl Anthony Towns, who is 22 years old and a transcendent talent. Even if Butler's gone and everything is stripped down around Towns, you're still in a pretty good spot in basketball. I mean, that's the difference. You got 5 guys who start rather than 22 in the NFL. If you have one superstar, like, you're in a good spot. I mean, LaShawn McCoy's great, but that's not going to do much for you in football. Like, I don't know. I think that's where the metaphor crumbles a little bit.
And you free up, and let's say they trade Butler now or in April or whatever it is, how much you free up quite a bit of cap space to make some moves in the offseason, right? Next summer?
Well, I mean, to make a trade in the NBA, you always have to take back 85% of the salary of the player. So you're not freeing money off of Butler necessarily. You're getting out of paying him his next contract, which would be 5 years, $190 million.
Seems like a lot.
And he'll be 30 through 34. I mean, you don't really want to fall into that. I mean, we've seen with like Blake Griffin and John Wall that those aren't necessarily good deals. I would say the way that the Wolves get cap space, though, is all these other old guys are on the team. I doubt they're going to want to stick around in the future after this. Taj Gibson, I'd be shocked if he's back a year from now. And Jeff Teague has a $19 million player option. If this convinces Jeff Teague to opt out of that, that's very good because Jeff Teague he's a good player, but not worth $19 million. So, yeah, there is a chance that there could be some cap space that comes from this, but not explicitly from Butler, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done talking about Jimmy Butler. Hi, guys. Bye. I ruined your podcast.
No, it enlightened us. It gave us a break from talking about Prefer.
All right, Dane.
Isn't a 17-point favorite in week 3 is like unheard of, right?
It is kind of a lot. And Miles is ready to fade the points. I'm ready to take the points because I feel like Buffalo somehow backdoor covers this thing like they did against San Diego last week.
Yeah, I gotta think the track record of those sort of bets. I mean, because you're capitalizing on public perception, which is god awful of Buffalo right now. But you can't really know that much about a team 2 weeks into the season, right?
Well, I think it's safe to assume that Buffalo's bad because I think they are.
But there's a difference between bad and 17-point underdog bad.
Yeah, well, Leslie Frazier.
If it's week 14, that's different.
Yeah, well, Leslie Frazier did get play calling duty snatched away, so maybe they do have some hope.
He did? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, jeez. Well, you know what? We have the Viking skull, right?
Yeah. That was very enthusiastic.
It's been a long day.
All right.
I'll let you guys go.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
See you, Dame. See you, brother.
Later.
See you. Got another caller.
Yo, caller, who we got?
Hi, it's Michael.
Michael, what's going on, man?
Not much. So my question is, I'm kind of worried about the defense just because it's not looking like the defense from that last year. And I don't know if that's just because we went against Kyle Shanahan and Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, how do you let a one-legged Aaron Rodgers just move the ball on you, man? I know they didn't give up touchdowns, but they gave up so many field goals. I just don't get it. It's what's going on, you know?
Well, see, that's the thing about the Zimmer defense is it is at its core like a bend but don't break defense. It's hey, you're going to get off the field on third down, or if you get in the red zone, you're going to kick a field goal. It's not like ball hawking defense except for week 1. That is super exciting like the 2002 Bucks or like the 2000 Ravens. It's just a very solid meat and potatoes defense that hey, set the third down percentage record for a reason. But also, they're kind of boring, but in a great way.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, if they let Buffalo score more than 10 points, I'm just worried about it because after that after this week we have to go to LA against the Rams. I know Zimmer just took McVay's lunch money last season, but yep. I mean, I'm just can you do that again? Because I mean, McVay is just gonna be I'm gonna just learn from my mistakes. I just don't know what's gonna happen,
But does McVay have any memory at all of last year's game? Because as we've seen in recent viral clips, he has really terrible memory,
and he is an older guy, so
yeah, he's aging out.
Him.
I just don't know. I feel like that, and maybe maybe Zimmer should just let DiFilippo just hey, you don't need to be so conservative. Just throw the ball more because we can't run the ball anyway.
I don't think it's DiFilippo that's the one that's being told to be conservative. I think it's the other way around.
Really?
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely Zimmer being hey, Flippy boy, or sorry, you're not Flip. Hey, JDF boy, we're toned down a little bit, huh? Yeah, play a little safe ball, do a little Patty Shermer, do a little Norv, etc. I think Zimmer likes it.
Yeah, I get that, but also if it wasn't for Captain Kirk and DiFilippo opening the offense, we would not have coming back in that game and everything. And and I'm just telling you, Zimmer, hey Zimmer, your D gave up 22 points really, and and Captain Kirk came back and almost won the game, except for your namesake Andy. But sorry about that anyway. But I mean, it's if your D is going to give up more than 20 points, a game, I mean, shouldn't you allow your offense to just go at reach its potential and that's a top 10 offense, right?
But let's be honest about the offensive juggernaut that they were facing this week. It was Aaron Rodgers, even though he was on he was quite immobile. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still one of if not the best quarterback in the league. So he's going to be able to put up those kind of numbers, and his play and his ability just it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't matter how well Zimmer schemes his defense against Aaron Rodgers. He's going to find a way to win, and you saw that enough times. I wouldn't necessarily be worried about them in week 2, especially with the fact that they faced. Look at how they made Jimmy G look. And he's in my opinion, he's on the up and up as far as quarterback. So I necessarily wouldn't be. I would only be concerned is if if they drop if Josh Allen does drop 25 plus points on the Zimmer defense, then that's maybe a cause for concern. But against a QB like Aaron Rodgers, I don't think that's much of an issue.
Okay, and last thing, I guess it's over or under how many games Dan Bailey is a factor in this season?
3.
5.
All of them.
I like 3, and it's gonna matter.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 divisional games. Well, no, 2 divisional games and one this is gonna be some kind of tiebreaker for something in the playoffs.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See you, man. All right. If there was a TV show for the 2018 season,
This Is Us.
where it's just constantly kicking the nuts every week.
Yep.
Yeah. Or actually, The Office might be a good analogy for that because The Office started out kind of slow. Office was canceled after a season or 2.
Well, yeah. It went through its typical pilot season or whatever, and
It was 6 episodes.
The six.
It got saved by iTunes downloads.
Oh,
oddly enough.
Huh.
Yeah, there was a lot of steam, obviously, from the British version of the original version of it, and it just wasn't translating, and people weren't picking up on it as well.
Yeah.
And then again, NBC got enough steam, and NBC was just like, "Hey, we're gonna give this a shot." So,
yeah. Hey, caller, who we got? He hang up after all that.
No, maybe. I think it was a kid that dialed us or something.
Ah.
I heard children.
Yeah. At Showboat 12.
Miles freaked out a little bit.
J-Ron and Mac look lost in coverage. Jalon had an had an awful over pursuit on the first offensive possession versus Green Bay. Yep. Defense had a hard time tackling all day. So basically just crapping on J-Ron and Mac. Thoughts?
yeah, there was a play. I think that's just part of that is just inexperience. I tweeted out J-Ron allowed the guy to get, on the inside, which is, especially on that play, you're supposed to allow him to feed outside. And just growing pains, things that are going to happen with a guy who, again, he's a second string safety for a reason. Yeah. Mac, I'm not really worried. I think I still really like Mac, and I think he provides a lot of stability at that nickel position. But then he's also a guy that if you need to work Mike Hughes in as well too.
Mike Hughes,
I think he's great. So I'm not worried about Mac per se. But J-Ron, I can understand why people are just like, J-Ron again.
Are all 3 of Waynes, Mac, and Hughes back on the Vikings next season?
No, because you're supposed to get rid of Trey Waynes.
Yeah.
Honestly, get rid of Trey Waynes, and then you can free up the money to pay for Barr. You can pay for Sheldon Richardson. Mike Hughes is your.
Wait, Wayne's money does all of that?
I think it does significant amounts.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but
because essentially when you extend Barr, you can lower the cap and give yourself a lot more breathing room to be able to
How
pay.
do you feel, generally speaking, I feel like Spielman, people are happy with his drafts and that people have criticized how many cornerbacks they've taken as the chief complaint. But now you look at Treadwell, first-round pick, Wayne's first-round pick.
Wayne's is fine, though. Wayne's is good.
Just want to use
I don't call that a bust. That's
sure.
No,
I don't
he's
call
not
that a miss either.
No, I don't think he is. Because again, he became one of your starting cornerbacks, and that's exactly what you need.
Everyone figured out the other guy, what's his name, was an asshole, right? And that's why he got traded from Kansas City to
Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot the Waynes versus Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters' talent, still trumps.
Yeah,
but it seems like he's a locker room.
Sure.
Who knows? I guess the Rams are fine.
Well,
I think Wade Phillips is going to help keep that afloat, though.
Yeah,
but I don't know if they can keep Peters after the season. Correct?
Well, they have him for 2 more.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
if you have one locker room a-hole,
yeah.
it's a problem. But if you have 17 of them, it kind of works itself out.
It's just madness.
I love that Aqib Talib is the captain of the Rams. What the hell? Yeah, let's follow that guy's lead.
That was kind of funny to me, but I mean, they have their reasons.
They're like a good version of the Bengals. They're like, yeah, they're not criminals. They're just kind of jerks.
Yeah.
The other thing that after I was just saying everything I was saying is like if they get rid of Trey Waynes, I would not be surprised again if they use a high pick on a corner again next year.
No, I mean if you wanted to get rid of, but getting rid of Trey.
I know it's hard to
Trey
say.
Waynes doesn't make sense to me. Like, why do you rescind that 5th-year option? Like, what is he doing? Like, I'm not obviously.
What about hashtag trade Waynes?
Do you feel like Trey Waynes is
for an interior offensive lineman? No way.
Do you feel like Trey Waynes' value right now is worth both Barr and Sheldon Richardson? Because that's essentially one of the questions you would have to answer if you let him go, or if you kept him.
I mean, in a way, it is. Because of his position.
I think there's an argument to be made because he's a starting corner.
But if I'm going Mack or Waynes right now, I'm taking Waynes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So say in the offseason the Vikings still ride out the 5th-year option, but during the draft a team offers you a mid-second rounder for Waynes.
Oh, you take that in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
But he was number 11. No. How that works. Doll unit. All these recent rule changes are for safety reasons, but really tend to aid the offense. With that in mind, does it make sense to allocate more resources to the offense to play into that, or is it more important now to build around defense to minimize the advantage?
Offense. I think they need to start. They know the main focus needs to be offense now. They need to go get in the offseason a wide receiver 3.
Yep.
They need to.
Jamison Crowder, come on down. Spend more money.
Shore up that offensive line. Like they know they need to do that kind of stuff.
I would love to buy
move tight end. Oh my gosh.
That too. I would love to get another like top end wide receiver this next draft. Because you would have so much insurance. You could obviously.
Do you worry about that risk? Because wasn't Josh Doxson supposed to be good? And we've said this before on the show.
But Josh Doxson's issue isn't, in my opinion, it's not his talent.
Okay.
It's his ability to stay on the field.
Yeah. Which sucks.
Yeah. Well, and that offense with Alex Smith is way different than it was with Cousins.
Sure, for sure. Yeah.
Is Antoine Winfield Jr., is he going to declare?
No, he's only a sophomore, isn't he?
Redshirt sophomore.
He should declare. He should declare.
That play where he went from one to the end zone to the other, I was like, what?
He absolutely should. I mean, it was a bad throw, too. But
he did that a week after literally being like freaking Tecmo Ball.
He should declare because I think that people would overdraft him.
Grab him.
Not that there'd be anything wrong with that. It's just that I don't see any reason for him to go
He
back
just
to
shows
school.
up on the Vikings. Mike Zimmer is like, I found a way. We bypassed some laws.
All of the Vikings offensive linemen were abducted by the cartel, and then still Zimmer at 32 is just like Antoine Winfield Jr. There you go. He can wear number 26 after we trade Waynes. Caller, who we got?
Mike Oxlong.
Mike, what's going on, man?
Not too much. I got a fantasy football question for you guys.
Yeah, fire up.
Got a guy in my fantasy football league, goes by the name of Iyuk Yinmin. We'll just go with that for now. And I think there may have been some collusion before the draft.
Ooh.
He is currently in first place, and something seems a little fishy. Just want to know your guys' take on collusion and fantasy football. Thank you.
Well, I think if it is very egregious, it goes against the spirit of the game, where if it's just completely one-sided, where it's just like really not fun. But also, you have to allow the other person, whoever the other party is, to run their own team. And honestly, if they feel like trading Eli for Odell Beckham, if that's like truly in their heart, as opposed to wanting to just kick the league to their buddy, maybe they get a little something on the side. That's their prerogative, I guess. So I guess you have to factor in intention. Oh, wait, did he hang up? Did he do the sports talk radio?
No,
call him.
He's still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I need to hear what you guys had to say.
Yeah. Gentlemen, what do you think?
I'm anti-collusion. I think the other thing is you got to find the right people for your league, because kind of alluding to what you said before, usually the one or two idiots that are willing to trade their best players get just fleeced, and that does obviously upset the balance of it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Tom. That's the route I'd go to.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of like fantasy football is like you want to, I don't know. That's why I'm sometimes in leagues where it's like there's no money up or up and it's just bragging rights and like, it's guys just like having a good time and stuff. But then like why play fantasy football if
Yeah,
if
I want it somewhat competitive. I don't want it where someone's gonna like murder me if I, trade away the wrong player. But yeah,
fair enough. I appreciate the honesty, guys. I'll have to get in touch with him and settle this over a game of Fortnite.
I'm straight. Appreciate you, Michael.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
At Randy Ravage, have Packers fans reached a... It's a good handle. Reach a new level of bitchiness with the whole roughing the passer costing them the game. They had the opportunity to win with good field
Did we
position
talk about
overtime.
that?
And we're kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think you should be able to do that. He did disrupt the throw. I know that Vikings fans are going to be happy about that, but I think that should be legal.
In that particular instance, no, screw him.
Fine.
But Kendrick's perfectly legal. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
We can be partisan about this. Don't care. But
is it bad that I agree with the way the NFL is perceiving this rule in terms of lifting the legs up?
I think that's
driving down.
I think that's fair. I get where
both guys did that, and I'm not even saying it was intentional.
Yeah.
But you could see in the tackle that their arms lifted their guys up, so their shoulders are basically going flat into the ground.
Fair.
Yeah, which I mean is really dangerous, obviously, because.
But it's how you're taught to tackle too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's really hard to kind of unteach that at this level. So
I think what players are going to start to do is once you got the player wrapped and their head towards the ground, they just got to do arms wide open. Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
And just like straight up like sternum around their body, just like, all right, this is what you want to play.
Well, or you're going to have the refs blow the whistle earlier, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a play. I think there's a joke going around of Mike Daniels. He like went in and kind of wrapped up Kirk Cousins, but kind of stopped at the same time, and then Kirk Cousins ran away and did whatever he did.
But I think on that play specific, I think he thought Kirk got the ball out of his hands because
I think he did too.
Yeah.
But
I think Riley Reef should still be credited with a sack on that one. He only had a pressure.
Wait, was that Reef? That was Reef on that one. That was on the right side. Or the middle. That was like up the middle, I thought.
We need to look
Mike
at
Daniels?
That was a stunt.
Mike Daniels. It was like Remmers or Hill, I think.
Actually, oh, no, you're right. It might have been Remmers. That's great. Remmers have been low-key not been great at right guard.
It's probably because he should be at right tackle.
Yeah, it seems so weird. Like
should he, though?
I think he should.
It seems so weird that was never, like, even an option during the offseason.
Well, Zim made it sound like they wanted to shore up the middle. They wanted to get stronger in the middle.
Yeah.
But they're not really that strong in the middle. They're like that's their.
They felt Remmers was the strongest option there, right? Like at right guard. So I think that's the part that they wanted to do because they look at the guys they have upcoming. You're going to be playing Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh here soon. With Michael Brockers. You got the Eagles coming up. You have guys like that. So you want to make sure that since they didn't get their guard in the draft, they're able to have a guy that's stout enough to kind of handle some of those guys.
Will Hernandez hasn't looked that great either. Not that I'm keeping tabs.
You know who has been looking really good?
Mike Hughes.
Nelson.
Oh, well yeah.
He's looking phenomenal.
Top 5, top 6.
If you have the second coming of Larry Allen and just plop him in, it's like it should be pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. At Alex Lawson 91, give me an analogy to how it feels going from your distant cousin, twice removed Daniel Carlson, to Dan Bailey.
That's for you, Andy.
All right, going from Carlson to Dan Bailey. Where it's like you have something that you really wanted to be good. Oh, all right, so Quiznos. Daniel Carlson was Quiznos because like everything should be good here. You got toasted, you got fresh ingredients, you got all this great stuff, but it just ends up being trash. That was Daniel Carlson. And then Dan Bailey's Potbellies. I mean, come on.
You like
Potbellies are
Jersey Mike's?
Jersey Mike's is good. Or like Firehouse. Yeah.
Firehouse is good. Yeah.
Dan Bailey's all of those.
I like that little contraption they have at Quiznos though, like the little thing that they run through there.
Bell thing?
Yeah,
it's like they're like putting your sandwich through like a metal detector, like they're
such a dangerous thing to have around teenagers. Like, I don't know how there's not more incidents.
Yeah, high teenagers.
Yeah, what's in there?
Did you guys ever have Italian dunkers in school?
Yes.
Yeah. That was an Italian dunkers machine, essentially, at Quiznos.
Sure. Yeah.
Where it's that, all right, I'm the lunch lady. I got a tracheectomy. This is how I talk. The government says you need a grain and a protein, and there's protein in the cheese, and the grain is this hot dog bun that's flat. So we're going to slap a piece of cheese on this hot dog bun, and you're going to eat it. with
It's sad.
marinara sauce that's full of high fructose corn syrup. Why are these kids fat? I don't know.
Nika's mom comes in and is like, we're redoing all this.
At Altered Quaker, do you think bringing Tom Johnson back hurts the development of some of the younger talent and a step in the wrong direction, or will the D-line rotation be far better with a veteran like Johnson?
Better with Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think it really necessarily impacts Jaleel, especially with Perry out of the picture.
Well, just the position Jalil's going to play in the rotation, right?
Yeah, like Jaleel will still get his, and as far as the edge guys go, it doesn't really make that much of an impact.
Well, Jalil's just going to take Perry's snaps, and Johnson's going to get Jalil's snaps. Maybe a little bit more, though.
Circle of life. Well, Jalen Holmes is going to be inactive anyway, so that's how it rolls.
Yes.
Hey, caller, who we got?
Hey, what's up, guys? Alex from Chicago.
Alex, what's going on, man?
Hey, so I got two questions. I got one Vikings question and one other question.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Vikings question. One thing I noticed while watching the Packers game, and this was just real time, so I didn't go back and rewatch the game. You guys probably have. But it seemed like the Vikings were playing a lot of off coverage when they knew that Aaron was going to have to throw the ball quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
No, but also you can do the whole rubric of I think Zimmer knows what he's doing.
I think the whole idea was to keep everything in front of them and make sure they weren't getting hit with any kind of double moves or not letting Aaron do his little throw the ball deep and get pass interference calls. But I'm not sure. It really does. It was kind of weird, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, and then there was one play, the touchdown that Devontae caught on Rhodes, where I think there was two missed tackles there, and then Devontae got in pretty easily. But Rhodes was playing pretty high. I mean, it didn't even look like he was putting a lot of effort in on that particular play. And then, Andy, you kind of talked about it, how he got worked a little bit that game. I don't know. Maybe he's tweaked or something a little bit, or I don't know what's going on with him.
What injury did he have week one? Was that a hamstring, quad, something like that?
I think a hamstring.
Yeah. Because you remember when Xavier came in, that was an every week thing where he always had some sort of soft tissue injury. He kind of got over it. But I don't know. I feel like if Xavier had his druthers, he would just rather just go belt buckle with Devontae Adams. He's like, hey, I'm going to lock your ass down. But, I mean, as part of the game plan, as part of the scheme, and we know how Zimmer does with guys freelancing. His assistant, or his nickel coach, did that back in the days. It's like, maybe it does have to do with health, but I think overall it's just how they wanted to play Rodgers. I don't expect them to do that against Josh Allen. I fully expect them across the board to go press and then blitz the living hell out of Josh Allen and be like, best of luck to you, 17. Should have stayed in the Mountain West.
Yes, second team or third team all conference or something.
Yeah, that's so depressing, man. It's like you're going to be a first round pick and you can't even break second team. You're an honorable mention. Come on.
Yeah, honorable mention. Okay, now for the non-football question.
Yep.
I'm getting married on Saturday.
Hey, mazel tov.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Andy, I need your best advice for the groom on my wedding day. Things that I should do or not do.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, Miles is married too. Get a good night's sleep. Your wedding party, your groomsmen are probably going to want you to go out on Friday because that's what groomsmen do. I did that this weekend. It was a good time. But get a great night's sleep. Maybe get a quick workout in the morning because it's going to be a long-ass day. And try and enjoy it as much as possible. Everything's going to go fast, and just try and absorb as much of it as possible.
Cool. All right, thanks, guys.
Hey, congrats, man.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
Tom, we should send Alex a company wedding gift.
We should. I told you at this wedding I was at, my friend showed up and threw up in the reception.
Oh, snap.
So his wedding was during the game, so we all rushed back, saw pretty much the most vital parts, and then
That's a terrible friend, by the way.
Well, so he was chugging beers for every Daniel Carlson miss.
Oh,
and somehow ended up with 5. So clearly he had too much too quick.
That was this week.
This week.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, and he hadn't eaten anything, so he shows up, vomits in front of a whole bunch of people he doesn't know, leaves briefly, had to change of clothes, and did the rest of the wedding. No shame.
No shit.
You got to admire his ability to boot and rally, though.
He boot and rally, baby.
All right, kill the phones. Let's answer these last few ones, then let's go eat some chicken because I'm starving. At Gopher 7199, was the Coley kickoff gaff a big reason he was released? Yes.
Absolutely.
Has to be.
Which weighed more, like the drop or the kickoff boner?
The kickoff.
The kickoff.
For sure.
Yeah.
The drop, because the drop wasn't anything, like the impact of it wasn't anything great.
I still laugh. At Micah Donaghy, does Zylstra move to wide receiver 3?
No.
No. I don't even think he knows the full playbook.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to on Sunday.
Like he was confused. Like, when do I get a running start? Like, I'm very much used to this. That's why it's so hard to pick CFL receivers versus DBs because, one side has a much larger advantage. Maybe that's why they made Deron Carter a defensive back, which is just.
Did they do that? I didn't even see that.
He's playing corner.
I'm surprised he's still in the league, to be honest.
At Gajah Salmons, a lot of people talk about other quarterbacks' arm strength, but let's talk about how this pass was in the air for over 60-plus yards on the Cousins bomb.
I mean, I've been saying it since I saw him in training camp. I think Kirk Cousins' arm strength is definitely underrated. And it wasn't just on
by you because you hate him.
Yeah, deep passes and stuff. But I mean, there was a lot of plays where he was zipping it into really tight windows, and I think that's something that speaks to the fact that he does have kind of a plus arm as far as that.
Oh yeah, the big difference with Kirk Cousins compared to some of the other quarterbacks we've had in the past is he doesn't have to be early on every throw. He can. If for some reason he's late on a throw, he's got the arm strength to make up for it, which I think is a big deal in the NFL. Being able to make up for some of that arm strength and not always having to throw with anticipation, you can make up for mistakes sometimes.
Although we've seen that get Kirk in trouble before in Washington, where he thinks I could probably make this throw.
Yeah, it's that gunslinger mentality, but also that.
I mean, on the Thielen throw, it probably was a little bit of that, right?
Yeah, but that mentality is what got them back in the game, right?
Yeah.
You got to have that kind of mentality. Like Sam Bradford doesn't get this team back in the game because he's not taking chances on those same throws.
It's far past.
Whereas Case Keenum has the same mindset, except he doesn't have the arm.
Yes, exactly.
Hilarious. Last one at Vikes Ginger. What are your impressions of Barr so far this season? I'm not seeing the disruptor that he has been in the past.
I mean, he's being moved really all around.
They do a lot of that,
and I think that kind of speaks to his ability and whatnot. And I don't think they would move him around if he honestly was still kind of coasting the way that Zim has made fun of him in the past and whatnot. So his numbers maybe not showing up as much on the stat sheet, but I think his presence is definitely being felt, and it's freeing up other guys to make more plays.
Yeah, I think he's definitely just filling in wherever Zimmer needs him to, whether it's out in the flat in his traditional role or up in the double A, et cetera. Where Barr's never going to be a guy who stuffs the stat box, and he has a lot of hidden value in this defense because his role is so unique in terms of the linebacker position in the Zimmer defense. So I think he's fine.
Yeah, agreed. And I could see. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. And the guy's in a contract year, right? So We hear people talk about guys going all out in contract years, but at the same time, some guys like Anthony Barr who know they're going to get paid in the offseason, whether it's here or elsewhere, sometimes you take maybe you don't
get injured and lose money.
Yes,
yeah.
You might not take a play off, but slow down a little bit every once in a while here just to preserve yourself. So I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but it wouldn't surprise me at the same time if that's in his head, just because it is that kind of scenario. There's a lot of money in the line for him, so.
Yep. What's coming up from you, gentlemen? What are you working on this week?
Not a lot for me. I'm out of town all next week for work, so we'll have our Climb in the Pocket podcast on Thursday.
Night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Wait, you mean you're not cranking out content from Lubbock?
No, I won't be doing.
Do some scouting.
I'll do
high school football.
I'll be doing scouting, but not that kind of scouting. Barbecue joints.
Tom, what about zonecoverage.com?
Yeah, obviously Sam will continue with his Vikings coverage for us every day. Got something new. Wolves Media Day coming up Monday. Going into that, we'll have a lot of coverage of what's going on with Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
The state of the franchise. A lot of focus.
Did you see the rumors that
him and Cat? Cat's girl?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yikes. But But yeah, no.
Tom, you don't follow the same accounts on Twitter that I do.
Yeah, I don't think so. But no, Dane Moore, who called into the show today, we'll be breaking that down. Please read his stuff. And then obviously Brandon on baseball.
Bam. Show's available on iTunes, Stitcher, iRadio, zonecoverage.com, Machine, Spotify, and Google Play. But for Yinka and Miles filling in, thank you very much. Also, Tom, working the board. I'm Andy, saying Andy alongside. Bye-bye. Enjoy the game.